Hongshu, what?
Uma,
Huh?
I think we missed a whole week.
We missed a week?
We've been sleeping for so long.
Well, the important thing is that we're back.
We're back and you can't get rid of us.
Don't try, though. I'm a sensitive, delicate woman.
I'm Selma Gahd, your motivational monster.
And the mistress of business. And I am Uma Gahd, everybody's favorite unofficial auntie and star of Canada's Drag Race Season 5.
Yeah! And this is our podcast, Dear God, where we give you, the audience, real advice. So yes, if you would like to write into us, go onto our website, houseofgahd.com. God, G-A-H-D, H-D like
High definition.
or hot dog.
That too. I want a snack now.
Oh my gosh, a snack would be so good.
Listen, we'll do this and then we'll do the...
Okay. Welcome to Dear God, episode 9.
In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about work, social anxiety, and listen, just because we can't always be working, sometimes we need to have fun. We're going to give you some travel tips as well.
Fancy.
Always.
Which is why we're dressed like this with our fancy schmancy work outfits.
That's right. You might notice that this isn't the regular kind of like extravagance that we film in. And that's because we are not at Saint Motel this week. We are at home because we got questions about work and we said, well, we work from home. So we are wearing our work from home uniforms, which means that we are business on top and PJs on the bottom. So, very professional, but only from the waist up. So, yes, we are not at the same hotel. We are in our home. So welcome to the House of God. And let's get into it.
No, we haven't been sleeping this whole time. It's actually quite the opposite.
No, that's right. We've been busy.
So yes, I'm going to tell you all now the big news that we've been teasing that people have been asking us about in the comments and in our DMs. It's finally official. I am...
Pregnant!
No, that's just my food belly.
Pregante, pregnant.
El gato.
Show Bobs. I'm sorry, I don't know where...
Where are we going?
Look, there goes the point.
So I'm going to start over with the big news properly.
Okay, and I'm gonna let you do
Focus. Focus or just have nothing in your head, one or the other. So yes, we've been teasing it a couple episodes ago now, and it's official. It's a little bit earlier than expected, which is why we're trying to catch up right now. But I, Selma Gahd, am the new artistic director at Bar Le Cocktail.
Yeah! And the crowd goes wild.
I am very excited, Uma. It's, for those of you that don't know, if you're not from Montreal, we basically have two really iconic venues for drag in Montreal. There's drag happening everywhere else in the city, but there's two iconic drag cabarets in the village. One of them is Cabaret Mado, and the other one is Bar Le Cocktail. And Uma and I have been working at Bar Le Cocktail for a decade at this point, and we've done it all, from hosting shows to producing shows. You were a waitress.
I think the only thing at that bar that we haven't done is to be bartenders.
Yeah,
I've been a server. We've worked the door. We've both been DJs. One of us is better at it than the other.
One of us did it full time for 7 years, and one of us replaced to help out, which was very nice of you.
Sometimes I'm often very nice. But so we've done everything at this bar except be a bartender. And well, now you basically run the joint.
Yes, I'm the artistic director. For those of you that don't know what that means, is basically I take care of all the programming at the bar, all the events and the shows and the bookings and all that jazz. So it's me, Selma Gahd, artistic director at Bar Le Cocktail.
The mistress of business, and we ain't lying.
So I was supposed to start the position in June, but things changed, and that's fine. It's all good. But I started early, which means we didn't have time to go film an episode for the podcast because, comme on dit en québécois, j'étais dans le jus. J'étais dans le jus. I was in the juice.
Yeah, for the Anglophone, she was in the juice. So she's been working her butt off, and I have kind of just been cheering her on, catching things as they kind of, need to be caught.
Careful not to whack the camera. If you didn't notice, we're in a different setting than usual.
We're going to get to that.
Yes.
So we're like, you know what? Let's just do this correctly. Let's say it. Congratulations, Selma Gahd.
Thank you. I am so excited. I've been at that bar for a while, so it's something I have near and dear to my heart, and it's a great space for the community. So it means a lot to me that the community trusts me to be in this position, and that the new bar owners trust me. Allô, Alex. Allô, Lucien. And obviously working with Dominique, the manager there, we've been working together for years. So it is really a pleasure to join the team officially as artistic director. And Uma Gahd is going to be one of your regular hosts.
Yay!
So Uma is basically going to be one of the regular hosts for the Sunday nights. And she's going to be there doing the cabaret night. We're going to put forward drag that focuses on theatricality, personifications, comedy, musicals.
Concepts, and cabaret.
You can still catch Uma on other nights as well, but that's like really going to be like her big night. We're putting forward the shows that like highlight the type of drag that Uma does and appreciates a lot.
Yeah, because you know what? Showing up to a gig on a Saturday night, I once did I did La Vie Bohème from Rent, and I did it in like a Mark cosplay. And I cut the song down, so it wasn't like the 17-minute song that it is in the show.
Yeah.
I managed to cut it down, so it was only about... it was exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
I remember this, yes.
Yes, because one of the lines is, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized. If you know, you know. So I did it on a Saturday night, and then I'm running around the stage. I've got a scarf on, the whole thing. And then I did the whole song, and at the end, everyone was like, yay.
2 people were really into it.
Yeah, exactly. In the bar full of people, no one else knew what it was, and they were like, okay, but we're here to it's Saturday night, and the air is getting hot. Be my baby.
Yes, the current songs.
Yes. But so they didn't. So this Sundays is going to be like a space, I think, where people are going to be able to get that. We're still going to have like the thumpa, the energy, but there's also going to be some really fun like concepts and comedy stuff as well.
And like you are able to do dance numbers as we saw on Drag Race.
That's right. The lady can dance.
The auntie has moves, but yes, your specialty, the things you enjoy the most is your concept numbers and your comedy. So I want to make sure that we had a focus because Sunday shows were already kind of leaning more that way already, historically at the bar. But I'm making it official where it's going to be a dedicated night for the artists that really focus on that type of drag.
And we're going to have some fun spaces for the people that love karaoke, for the party people, for the people who like the vidya games, for all kinds of stuff coming up. So you can follow Bar Le Cocktail on the socials to find out when we're going to be adding new things to the calendar and all that fun stuff. So we're very, very excited. And it's also a bit of like a breath of fresh air for the community. I think a lot of people are excited about that. But
what?
The community is also very excited about something else.
Oh. Yes.
The community is also very excited about this very podcast.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about that.
So every year since I have started in drag, there has been, there's a publication here in Montreal called Cult MTL. And they have a best of issue, which is like the readers get to submit their votes. So it's completely, it's completely by the community, for the community. And I've been in the top 10 drag artists every year, basically since I started. And this year I was I decided, I was like, you know what, this means a lot to me every year to be on this list because it was one of the rare ways that a drag artist in our city could really say like, you like me right now. You like me.
Yeah, just a little nod of recognition from the community, right?
Exactly. But now that I've been on Drag Race, I don't want people to vote for me just because they saw me on TV once. So I didn't do any campaigning because I really thought to myself, it means the world to me to be on the list. But I know that there's somebody else who isn't getting the shine that they deserve, that isn't getting the applause that they deserve. And I know that this will mean more to them just the same way that it has always meant the world to me. So I just, we didn't do any campaigning.
Yeah, we did, usually we don't campaign like vote for me. Absolutely, we just share it and tell people like, hey, vote for all your favorite bars and establishments and everything. But this year we didn't do anything about it because I forgot because I was so busy. I called MTL. We like you, but I so busy.
So we didn't push any voting or anything like that. And then I was still hoping that maybe I'd show up. I was not in the top 5, which is the part of the list that they publish for the big public.
Yeah.
So I was not in the top 5. So I was a little bit sad. And then I was just looking through the lists of everything else to see where my friends are. And then I saw our name anyways because we were voted into the top 5 podcasts in Montreal.
Hey!
And we've only been doing this podcast for about 2 months at that point.
Well, yeah, this is episode number 9.
Exactly. So we made it into the top, and there's some podcasts in this city.
Yes, Montreal is a podcast city.
Even just, our friend Trana Winter, she's got several podcasts that have been, on this list for a long time. There's French language ones and English language ones. There's varying levels of professionalism, the whole thing, and we made it to number 5.
It's very exciting. It's very, 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 very exciting. And again, we know that this is just people voting for what they appreciate in the city. It's not like the end all be all. It doesn't mean you're a failure or this or that. But it's a nice little nod of recognition, and it's very much appreciated. So thank you, everybody that voted for us.
Yes, merci à tout le monde qui a voté pour nous. Thank you, everybody that voted for us. It feels amazing, and it's really, it encourages us to keep making these episodes. So thank you. Disclaimer, legalese, and so on and so forth, heretofore unknown throughout the universe.
Tongue pop.
Ooh.
This advice is completely ridiculous and not to be taken seriously. It is for entertainment purposes only, and if you do find some value in it, thank you so much.
So now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So we always like to serve it up to you, Mama, and that means that we're going to start with our starter course. All right, so it's something that's a little bit shorter. Will our responses be? Who knows? Let's find out. All right, so we have, Dear God, a coworker recently told me that I am too aggressive. I think I'm assertive. What should I do?
Listen,
this is somebody who's basically talked like they're you. You sent this in.
Well, I wouldn't be worried about it, so no.
Okay, fine.
If someone knows something about being assertive, it's me. So the first tip I have for you is I'm assuming, I know we're not supposed to do that, but I'm going to assume that you might potentially be a woman. So my solution here is transition.
Listen, no one is allowed to be more assertive than a man who's not really doing much for the rest of the establishment aside being assertive. So step 1, be man.
Obviously, I'm joking, but I do feel like women get it worse when it comes to assertiveness than men do. I do feel like women are often judged as being like a B word or a problem or taking up too much space or being unpleasant. Whereas if a man says the exact same thing the same way, people are like, wow, he's such a leader. So that's the reason I made that little joke at the start, is because it is actually a serious issue that we have in our society where men are seen as like, oh yeah, they're a leader, they're a king, go them. And if a woman is assertive, she's seen as being a problem. And no. So this is going to tie back to like the previous episode. I do this a lot because I say a lot of smart things. But I think to answer this question and not go on for forever here, just go watch the episode. I think it's last episode. Yeah, it's last episode, episode 8. Because we do talk about how you are going to be the villain in someone's story, whether you want it or not.
You're so smart.
Right? Because this is the thing. I think just keep being assertive and people aren't comfortable with it. The thing is, if you're not being mean, it's easier to have the receipts and be like, I just told you this. Where did I say something wrong? And they say, well, your tone. You can go, no, listen to the words that I said to you. And you can just remind them of what you said or what you wrote. Because if you weren't being a problematic person, you were just actually being assertive and they didn't like it, it's easy to say, well, no, actually go read the email I sent you, read it again, or listen to the words I'm saying to you. Nothing I said is problematic. Please listen properly. Listen to the words that I said. And when you do that, some people are going to be offended by it, but they cannot argue with you once you actually see the facts, right? So you have to be okay with being the villain in the story sometimes and just hold your ground. Literally just be assertive. And as long as you know that you're being a decent human being and you're not actually being problematic, it's not a problem. Stand your ground and hold to the facts. There we go.
Okay, well, so I agree with you and I don't.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. That was assertive. I assert that you are wrong.
That's how you do it. No, but what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I do think that, like, assertiveness is kind of like it's a spectrum, just like anything else is.
Spectrum? On this podcast?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm focused. So I think assertiveness is a spectrum. And so, like, for you, you can kind of, like, you feel like you're in a particular part of the spectrum where you're being reasonable and you know, professional and, you know, that kind of thing. But for other people, it still might feel like it's a little bit too far. And who knows, it might be a little bit too far. It might not, they might not, I don't know, your question was one sentence. So they might not be sitting there making you out to be the villain, but they might feel like, oh, let's keep this for the, you know, for the vibe of the workplace. Let's keep this in check. So try to be at least conscientious of the fact that maybe when you're feeling extra assertive, it might be coming off a particular way. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to change everything about yourself, but you just have to remember that, yes, there is two sides to every story, and you want to be considerate of other people. Now, here's the thing that I think is, instead of necessarily just, you know, always being like, okay, I can't be too assertive, the biggest difference that I find, and because, again, I do live with the mistress of business. She is
assertive to a fault.
You are, exactly, but you're very assertive, and I have seen the way that many people react to it. And I think that the biggest difference in the people is that there's the people who think that you're being rude or condescending or aggressive are the people that know you the least.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The people that know you the most also, like, yes, there's just getting to know you, but the difference is your ability to be proactive and thoughtful and caring and positive. Above all, your ability, Selma, to be positive means that when you are assertive, even if it rubs people the wrong way, they're like, you know what, but I still like her. It's kind of like it softens the edges of you so that when you need to bring out the pointy part, they're not just like, oh, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, but absolutely. It's a personality thing, right?
I'm not saying that you need to be nicer to everyone.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm saying. But if you make a point of making a really rounded out personality that includes, like, if you're going to be assertive, when other people assert themselves and they do a good job, tell them, celebrate them, make space. When you're being assertive for yourself, be assertive for the other people in the room as well. You know, like, it's not going to work every single time, but when you keep your eye out for that sort of thing, then people know that you're not just being assertive to get your way, you're being assertive to move things forward. So, like, if you are assertive on someone else's behalf, if your assertiveness brings people along with you, they're not going to feel like you're trying to run ahead of the group. They're going to feel like you're moving the group forward. And I think that's the balance that you hold, Selma, really well.
Well, you touched base on it right here. I think that's going to wrap up the question because we covered, I think, a big spectrum of it. But what you just said there brings to mind for me the fact that, yes, being assertive was only one part of the equation. Because if you're this was from work, right?
Yes, okay. Exactly. A coworker said this.
If you're at work and you are assertive in the way that, like, you're leading the project, and you say, we're going to do it this way, and that's how it is, and you're moving forward because you're fed up with your coworkers maybe not doing the things they're supposed to be doing, or the project's just taking forever, or nobody making decisions. And, like, we all know how, like, we'd have meetings on meetings on meetings, and everybody's talking, nobody's doing anything, nothing's getting done, and it gets really exhausting. And if you're the assertive person, you just want to get things moving along. But that can rub people the wrong way if they don't feel like they're listened to. So, like you said, I think a good part, like, for me, as someone who is neurodivergent in some capacity,
So we suspect.
We suspect, as someone who is very pragmatic about these things and doesn't see emotions as getting in the way of making choices, it's hard for me sometimes to be able to be like just naturally compassionate to people's emotions when it comes to logic things. Like in real life, if I can see someone sad, I can absolutely be there for them. But I'm talking about when it comes to like making decisions, I don't calculate emotions in making decisions easily. It's something I have to actively think of. So if this is coming from a coworker in the situation I'm speaking of, which I suspect might be what's happening as like someone who experiences this, just be sure that you leave space for people to express themselves, even if it doesn't make sense to you. And this is not condescending to the people that like talking about emotions, just that for someone who it doesn't affect really in my decision making, especially in a work environment, it does feel like I'm wasting time, or why are we doing this? But some people really need to communicate how they're feeling and then getting their thoughts out in a like more like a full picture. It really helps them to move forward. So make sure you make space for people that operate differently than you, and then be assertive and explain to them why. Be like, okay, I hear you and I want to take the time to listen to you. We are on a deadline though, so can we make a choice together?
I think that you have to put together the two things that you're saying is that you need to make sure that everyone has space for the fullness of their personality. And I think that you want to make sure that the fullness of your personality is also involved. Hope that helps.
Are we ready to move on to our main course then, Uma?
I believe that we are. So everybody,
I'm very excited. Sorry.
Napkins in your lap.
Oh,
cutlery.
It's okay. They're PJ. I can just wipe on my PJ pants.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
I'm excited because I don't know what the questions are this week. So I'm discovering at the same time as you.
So let's discover our main course. It goes, Dear God, I hate my job. The end. No.
I mean, it could be.
No, actually, this one has a lot of details, but I'm going to include them all because there's a lot of layers here.
Okay, I'm going to pay attention. Wait.
All right. Dear God, I hate my job. I got a job as a social media and marketing assistant at my old school. I was very wary of this job, but everyone I know sent it to me telling me to apply. I really didn't want to because, one, I hated school so much that there's a lot of trauma there. Ooh. And two, the outline of the job doesn't even sound like something I would like. Enjoy the social media and communication side. So basically, the creative part. But I have really bad social anxiety, and this job has me interacting with so many people all the time. I am also in an office with my mentor, and she can literally see everything I do. I have no privacy. I would much rather be working from home, but now my partner and my parents are telling me I'm being silly for not wanting to work here, even though I'm having a really hard time. You know, everyone needs a job, air quotes. I am in therapy, but I am still so lost. I hate this place. Send help.
Well, okay. First things first. Good job for being in therapy and taking care of yourself and investing in yourself. It's always worth it.
Yes. You know what? And therapists usually are accredited and licensed, unlike us.
So, you know, you got that first step on lock. It's a very wide question with a very specific need.
Yes.
So I'm going to give some context first, and then I'll let you talk because I have to, there's things in my brain.
You have to percolate.
Yeah. So just context-wise, I know kind of what you're going through because professionally, I'm also a communications coordinator, and I have worked at a marketing agency in very different, like we did a lot of different roles in the marketing agency, but I did work in social media management, content creation, all that fun stuff. So I know exactly the type of job you're doing and exactly where you're coming from and what it entails and how much more broad it is than people think. People think, oh, you're just sitting at your desk or going and bugging your coworkers to do a cute reel and then you're posting it and it's done.
You're commenting on Instagram. Oh, yeah. That must be.
People don't understand the scope of what you do in that job. So I just want to say that I get it and I will address different parts of it at different points. So I'm just going to let Uma answer Because I think I can sense a vibe.
Yes.
And I'm going to sit here silently and think. Yeah, just like a robot, you know.
Exactly. She's gonna buffer. She's gonna buffer for a moment, and then we'll get back to her. All right. So I think that first of all, listen, like you said, you're already off. You're in an uphill battle. A job that you weren't really interested in a place that causes you a lot of anxiety. I mean, it's not impossible, but you do at least you're being realistic. Okay. But it doesn't automatically mean like it's a done deal, forget it, get out. So I want to say that I think maybe, because you mentioned a few things in this that makes it sound like maybe part of their issue is that you're still at your old school.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because you didn't enjoy it while you were there necessarily, or maybe it wasn't perfect, who knows. But you're now in a mentor-mentee relationship with someone that works at this school. You're in the same space. And I think that maybe your head is still holding you in that kind of like, oh my God, I'm here because I have to do a good job. I have to impress everybody. They're grading me. They're judging me. I have to learn everything. And if I don't do it right, they're going to kick me out and my future is ruined. Relax. Okay? Because they hired you for a reason. All right. So unless you're going to tell me that everything in this space is toxic,
which is possible if you're in a toxic workplace, you didn't say that. You just said it causes you anxiety. So there's a difference there.
Yeah. If you're in a toxic workplace, then find another job, get things lined up as quick as you can, and then quit. Always, always, always find a new job before you get rid of the old one. If you can.
If you can. Exactly.
So if it's a toxic workplace, then ignore everything we're about to tell you and just do everything. Run as fast as you can. So, but if it's not feeling toxic, if you can realize that it's kind of just, you're adapting, get out of the headspace that this is your school where you're being graded. And this is, if you don't get good grades, then your life is over. I think you really need to start looking at it as you're a part of a workplace. You're part of a team. Your mentor is there to teach you things. They hired you because they want you to do a good job. It's never in the best interests of an establishment to constantly have to retrain people. They want people to do well and stick around.
Well, yeah, in a good workplace.
Yes.
Yes.
So, keep that in mind. Feeling of like being watched. If your mentor is watching you, it's to make sure that you're going to do the job better. They're there to help you, to mentor you. They're not your teachers. They're not there to grade you. They want you to do a good job. So I think you need to maybe stop your brain from telling you that this is the hierarchy of school still, and realize that this is the collaborative nature, especially when, like you said, there is a creative element to your work. So the creative element, it's collaborative. You're learning from each other.
The field you're working in is the field that I work in as well. And there are so many skills that are involved that people that underestimate. Because often when companies hire us, they're expecting you to manage their social media, manage their PR, program their website, do content creation, which means you have to be a photographer and a videographer and an editor. They expect you to also often be the face of those accounts. So you have to be the on-camera talent. Like, people say like, oh, social media management, but they underestimate the scope of skills necessary, and also how much you're going to be doing in a small business that only hires one person to do all of it. Because ideally, you'd be in a team of people and everybody would have their specialty. Like, that's what happens in big marketing agencies. Or if you're somewhere that has a little bit more budget, they divide based on people's strengths, right? They'll have a photographer, they'll have a videographer, they'll have someone doing the editing, they'll have someone else that takes care of social media management, and someone else that does the content creation, and someone else a graphic designer. So that's what happens in a bigger box place, But if you're doing a job like I do, where I work for not-for-profit, I have to wear all of those hats. And I have to develop all of those skills. And that kind of sounds like similar where you are. If you're in a school, it's kind of probably closer to the vibe of where I'm working at. Shout out to ACCM, AIDS Community Care Montreal. the skills that you can learn here, because you're wearing all those hats, you can find, like you said, I like the creative part of this job. Great. So is it the content creation part you like, or is it the social media management part that you like? If you're like, I really like content creation, well, then maybe you can focus on taking some, even if it's just on YouTube, watching some like self-improvement stuff, like better photography, how to do better videos, how to do better editing. If that's the part that you enjoy, you can focus on developing those skills. And then eventually you'll be able to apply for jobs that are more in line with what you enjoy out of this current job. So it's kind of like a stepping stone. It's kind of like giving you the skills you need to really specialize in the things you're great at. And you'll still have those other skills that are useful if you apply somewhere that needs you to do parts of other jobs as well. So that would be my advice here, is listen to what Uma just said, think about it, and be like, okay, do I really want to focus on one or the other of these aspects? And if so, do it. So like Uma said, though, keep working at it, because this job is giving you skills, and you do have a mentor, which like most of the time when I've worked in this field, I've been alone in my department. Like I have to do everything. I'm responsible for everything. And most people, when I tell them stuff, they're like, I don't know how that, a Facebook, a business manager, editing, Lightroom, they have no idea. So like nobody can even help me if they wanted. And if I go on vacation, forget it. So if you're in a place where you have someone else that can help you or mentor you, if that's actually what they're doing, because you use these terms, I'm assuming there's actually a mentor-mentee relationship, well then ask them to teach you about the things that you're interested in, you know? And while you're there, maybe as a side project, start building a portfolio of the things that you're proud of and start pushing. Ask your mentor, is it possible for me to like develop a campaign if you're really into the creative campaign creation aspect of it? And then accumulate the stats of it. Make sure you build a portfolio. So then when you are applying for a job, you can say, yeah, I work at this school. I'm in charge of the social media. I've done these campaigns. These are the shots that I've done with my camera. These are the videos I've put out. These are the stats of the account. This is the improvement you've seen over the years. Like just document things so you can build yourself a portfolio. And if you don't know what a portfolio is or how it works, because it's this thing that we all talk about, but nobody actually shows you, look it up online. There's a lot of great resources for that. Hit me up in the DMs if you want. I can share some stuff with y'all. It would be my pleasure. But yeah, just build yourself up. Use this opportunity just to learn and build yourself up and align yourself with the things you want to do in the future. Because you're here right now doesn't mean you have to be there forever. And this is a message for the family members and the partner. If someone is unhappy, even if the situation is good, it's not your place to tell them to suck it up. Okay? We're not doing that anymore. We're encouraging people and supporting them. So if this person wants to move on, as long as they're safe and they're doing things in a way that keeps them safe, you encourage them. That is your role as family members and as partners, okay? Step it up.
Exactly. So pay attention to where the space that you're in, so that way you can remind yourself you're not at school anymore. You're at a school, but you are not at school.
Yeah, you're no longer a student being graded.
So keep that in mind so that maybe you can take the anxiety down a notch. And then be realistic with yourself. Pay attention to the parts that you enjoy, the parts that you are good at, the parts that this place can help you thrive in. And if eventually the places that you can thrive in are too limited, then start looking somewhere else. Moving around in your job is not the end of the world. Also, if you just graduated from school, I'm going to assume that you're probably still pretty young. I know that there are plenty of adult graduates.
Hey, I went back to university at 31.
But it still sounds that you're still relatively young, so you've got lots of time. Okay?
And even if you didn't have time, it's still worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like people are always like, oh, well, I don't know. Live your life to be happy. You know, as happy as you can be.
Yeah, don't run from things just because they're difficult, but definitely don't sacrifice your happiness just because that's what you're supposed to do. So, yeah, because that's a great mantra. You're supposed to sacrifice your happiness. That's the way to do things. That's healthy and helpful.
No, we're done with that. Those days are over. Those days are gone. We're not doing that anymore. And I think the other part I want to talk about, because like the question was kind of like, it was long, not because you were too wordy, but just there's little different layers I could see that were affecting you in different ways for the person that asked this question. And you talked about social anxiety. And I think that's something we need to talk about because It's not just related to your job that you're doing here, but it's a lot of people right now. We live in a world that is hyper connected. We're always in each other's business. We can see behind the scenes of everything. Everybody's online all the time. You can poke each other, talk to each other. Like there's constant buzzing and connection, but somehow people feel more isolated than they've ever felt and feel more overwhelmed than they've ever felt. And a lot of people are living with anxiety and social anxiety now. So I think it's important to, one, understand why it's happening. Is it because you're overwhelmed and overstimulated, or is it just because you're uncomfortable with it because you have a hard time processing it? If it's the first one, make sure you take breaks, make sure you take care of yourself and disconnect when you need. I work in social media. I don't have notifications on. I look at my phone often, at my phone regularly, right? Because I have to manage, I think I manage a total of like 10 pages right now on Facebook and Instagram, on both, because of all the different programs at work and Bottle Cocktail now and Uma and me and the House of God and everything. I think I manage about 10 different accounts on all the different platforms. I check them like every hour just to make sure, but I don't have my notifications on because it would drive me insane. I would constantly be stopping, feeling like it's not healthy, and you have to be okay with putting your phone down and doing other stuff. But if you're having social anxiety because you don't know how to process being around people or you find it difficult, I do think it's important for your mental health to learn to socialize. It is important for you to learn to be uncomfortable and be okay with it. I'm not saying to make yourself suffer, especially like people that are on the autism spectrum. Sometimes there's certain situations that it is overwhelming and it's not appropriate for you to be there, and it's taxing and it's not something you want to do on the long term. But even in that situation, I think it's really important for us as people to learn how to cope and to find mechanisms that work for us.
If I can give you a little analogy.
Ooh.
It's like, okay, have you ever put on a sweater and the neck hole is too small?
Yes, you throw it out. Nightmare.
But before you do that.
Okay.
So, you put the sweater on and you climb inside and your head won't go through and you start to panic because you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is how I die. It's inside this sweater. I'm stuck forever. It's dark. I'm terrified. Save me. Okay. So you put on the sweater. You're panicking. There's two options. You can absolutely try and shove your head through the neck hole, and then you end up ripping the sweater, and the whole thing becomes ruined, and you feel terrible about it, and then you're like, I'm never wearing a sweater again. It's only cowl necks for the rest of my life.
Okay, Dorothy.
So that's it. I'm being illustrative, and she finds it entertaining.
Okay, so the neck is too small. We're Dorothy. What happens next?
Well, because that's you pushing through it and just breaking the whole thing. You're just ruining it. But the other option is, you can kind of like wiggle a little bit. You can push against it a little bit. You can stretch out the collar respectfully. And then eventually you're going to be able to wear your sweater. So the reason I'm saying this...
Oh my God, just said to stretch her out respectfully. Oh no, I'm crying so much.
Okay, well, do I need to go get Kleenex?
No, it's okay. People will see my real emotions. I'm a real person. Am I still gorgeous?
Always.
Okay, great. Is my hair still good?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Yes, so you can stretch it out respectfully by wiggling.
And then you get to wear this beautiful sweater that you enjoy. So the reason I'm saying this is because, yes, when we say that if you realize that there's some parts of the social interactions that are causing you anxiety, you don't need to push against your boundaries so hard that you snap them and then you feel terrible and you never want to go back and you're scared and it's ruined and it's awful. but you can push against it gently in a safe way that respects you and the people around you. And then eventually it just get, your social circle, your boundaries, your limits get a little bit bigger and a little bit more supple, a little bit more flexible. And it means that you become more comfortable. So the sweater that you're trying to put on becomes more comfortable because you've stretched it out a little. It's a little more comfy. You can move around and be yourself in it. So like, we're not saying snap it. We're not saying ruin it. We're saying just, get comfy, push a little bit. Sometimes a little bit of a wiggle is worth it.
Yeah, because I do feel like a lot of people, especially nowadays, with this, like, it's great that people are like getting diagnoses and like exploring different spectrums and seeing like, do I have ADHD? Am I in the autism spectrum? Like, there's a lot more discussions happening now than ever before. And those are amazing because they give you great tools and it makes you understand yourself better, gives you tools to cope better. But you also just can't be avoidant of everything. That is not a solution for you as a person to feel fulfilled and complete and happy. If you become avoidant, you're going down a very slippery slope that can lead to very dark times. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So we shouldn't do that.
Not that.
No. Not that. Oh my God, not that.
Not that.
Not that.
For someone like me who gets overstimulated by certain environments, there's not an advertisement for anybody in particular. Get yourself some adaptable earplugs. Yeah. Honestly, if you're working around a lot of people, even if it's not necessarily an overly loud environment, getting earplugs that can filter out sounds just makes it so your brain isn't like, oh my God, there's so many people around me and there's so much noise and there's people. It just really helps to like hush everything down a little bit. And for me anyways, it's been a great help because like we do a lot of big shows and we go to cons and we have to talk to a lot of people. And if you've seen me at DragCon or anywhere or Comic Con or anywhere else, I love talking to people. I'm so happy to talk to people. I am drained at the end of the day. It takes a lot of energy for me to do it, but I'm happy to do it. But the earplugs for me have been completely like they've changed my life.
Because they're not blocking the people out. They're blocking around all the other stuff so that you can pay attention to the person more efficiently for you and them. But yes, so there you go. So there's a lot to talk about in this question. I think we kind of covered all the angles. Oh, angles, we're serving, mama. So I think that was all the angles.
If I'm not mistaken, that means that we are at our dessert question.
That's right. We are at the final course of the episode. So we are here for our dessert. So we did work, and now we're going to do travel, which it's related to our work.
Exactly. You're so good at curating these episodes.
Thank you.
Today is a work episode.
So this one, the reason it's related to our work is because someone wants to ask us a very particular question, and it's you're going to know exactly why we need to answer it.
Okay, let's hear it.
So this question says, Dear God, traveling with drag feels like it should come with its own warning label. So I need to know, any unhinged or hilarious airport/security stories from what you've had in your bags? And also, what are your survival tips? What should always make it into the suitcase? And what will absolutely betray you if you bring it?
Ooh, okay. So, unhinged tips and betrayal. I love that.
Yeah, so the unhinged, no, it's not unhinged. It was a nightmare.
Oh no. Is it
Yes.
the first time we went to Edinburgh?
Yes.
Okay, I know where we're going. I'll let you take the lead on this one cuz I was a co-pilot for this one.
So, we were going to Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Fringe, which for those of you that don't know is the world's biggest arts festival.
And this was pre-Drag Race.
Yes, pre-Drag Race. It's the world's biggest arts festival. It is the biggest fringe in the world. There was 3,700 shows in this festival.
Shows, not artists, shows.
So we're going there, and this is already, like, I started my drag career in the Fringe Festival here in Montreal, so going to the Edinburgh Fringe was, like, a dream.
It was a goal. We literally said the first Fringe we said we had a great time. One day, we will go to Edinburgh. That has been our goal for, since we started.
So we're hyped, and we've packed everything up, as intelligently as we possibly can. And this is where we're going to get to the tip. They lost my luggage.
Not just Uma's.
Yes.
Both of our suitcases.
They lost our luggage because we had a layover. Our luggage didn't make it from the first plane to the second plane. So when we landed in Edinburgh, we're waiting at the baggage carousel like... Did not happen. All right. So then basically we're in Edinburgh for the first time. It's my first time ever traveling to the UK. And I am freaking out now because it means that we don't have any clothes.
At all.
So then the next morning when we had to go to our tech run, the only thing we had was drag costumes because we only had the clothes that were on our back. And so we put all of our clothes into the washing machine at our lodging. And it's a combo washer dryer, and we put it on during the night so that we knew that it would be done by the next morning.
And if it wasn't fully dry, we could just start the drying cycle again while we're having breakfast, and everything's gonna be fine.
Yep. Except we realized that it broke, it shut down, and the door had a safety lock on it. So because it shut down mid-cycle, we couldn't get the door open. I had to run to the front office in a towel, wearing nothing but a towel.
Which is in a different building than the one we're in, because we're in student lodging.
So I had to run out into the street wearing a towel, run around the building into the courtyard in the back. And this poor girl who works for this place, she couldn't have been more than like 20 years old, I think, is like, why are you in a towel? And I was like, because your washing machine is holding my clothes hostage. And she goes, yeah, that happens sometimes. So what are we going to do about it? Anyways.
They were very sweet.
Oh, they were incredible with us. And actually, to be fair, the airline was also quite nice to us at the airport.
Yes, the airport employees in Edinburgh, thank you for your patience and your kindness. Even though our luggage got lost, they were super helpful.
But that meant that we had no clothes and we only had drag outfits and ponchos. And the ponchos it was good we had them because it was pouring rain. We have no idea where we are. We're in Scotland. The GPS isn't working because Edinburgh is a nightmare for GPS for some reason. So, and then we have to try to get an Uber to our venue. They all cancel because it's raining. So we had to run across the city. We don't know where we're going. We're wearing drag costumes as clothing.
With not drag face.
We're not in drag, but It's the only clothing we have is a slip for one of my costumes and my drag underwear and a hoodie.
We each have that, though. We're not both in Uma's.
Yes.
We're not both sharing a drag slip.
No. So then we get there. I kick down the theater door. I'm ready to And the most lovely Scottish man comes out from the back and just goes, oh, hiya. And I was like, ah! So we lost all of they found our luggage eventually. 4 days later, it had happened to at least 3 other theater troupes that we saw there, 2 of which were drag troupes. So it was a nightmare for everyone. And then we had to, unfortunately, because they couldn't find our luggage, they had to give us money to go buy clothing, and I had to go vintage shopping.
Oh,
in Europe. Oh my God.
Awful.
It was terrible. So I got a really lovely vintage dress to cover the distance, to cover the fact that I didn't have outfits for my gigs. But this is all leading to the tip. So here's tip number 1 when you're traveling in drag. Selma?
Don't. No. Tip number 1, always, always, always pack your essentials, like what you absolutely cannot do the gig without, in your carry-on. Whether it's a carry-on suitcase, your backpack, whatever it is you can bring, the essentials. So if your pads are essentials, bring those. If your makeup is essential, bring those. Obviously, not all makeup is essential everywhere you're going. You might just need to bring your foundation and your lashes. And then if an emergency happens, you could go to the pharmacy and get some concealer to use as foundation. Like, that's up to you to decide. But yes, everything you absolutely need. So your heels, You can't find heels last second in a city that you don't know. Your heels, at least bring one pair of those. A wig, even if it's a small shake and go, just so you have it, you know. Your tights, like the basics. Bring the basics, everything you need to do the gig. Like, for example, for you, we had everything for your play, because you were doing your play. We had everything between our 2 carry-ons.
Yeah, so we had all of my most essential props were in my carry-on. We had a shake and go wig. We had my 2 costumes. We had all of my makeup mirror, and a pair of shoes. Because we figured, you know what, body is like, it's replaceable if we absolutely need to. I can do the play without it.
Yeah, and with your costumes and your drag, yes.
Yeah, with the drag that I was wearing for this show, it was replaceable, or like I could survive without it. So those were the things that we had in there. And then, so that meant that the first couple of nights of my show, I wasn't wearing the right wig, because it was in my checked luggage, but I had my shake and go, so I was still able to do the show.
And you still looked like yourself.
I still looked like me, but so you put the essentials in your carry-on. If it means that you have to sacrifice, like, oh darn, I'm not going to be able to bring my favorite like book on the plane, I don't know, whatever the things you put in your carry-on, it's more important that you have your drag if you're doing this for drag. So other tips that we think are really important.
So one for me is, One for me is when you're traveling with drag, especially if you're doing planes. Because if you're doing a road trip, it's not as big of a deal. But when you're taking the plane, you have to go through security, and every airport you go to is going to be completely different. Even the same airport twice in the same day, depending on who the agent is, the protocol is going to be different. I'm telling you now, pack your patient pants, because
sometimes you're going to have a really nice, thoughtful person, and sometimes you're going to have Cher, put your goddamn shoes in the bin.
And it's stressful because like you feel like you did something wrong even though you didn't, and everybody's upset and mad and sweating and waiting in line, and everybody's stressed and they think we should know what we're doing, but there's no clear indication. It's a lot. So the first thing is take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. You'll get through this, okay? But for drag specifically, we tend to carry a lot of liquids on us, and that can be a problem with the airline. So when you're traveling, make sure that you only pack the essentials. You don't need to bring 17 different varnishes.
Nail polish?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Nail polish, nail varnish, whatever. You get it.
In French, it's nail varnish.
Yeah.
Vernis à ongles.
Like, paint your nails in advance and just bring the nails. You know, like little things like that to limit the amount of liquids you have. So bring as little liquids as you have, because creams and gels count towards your limit. So like drag can add up really fast. And typically you have a very small Ziploc bag type thing that you can put everything in. Make sure it fits before you leave. Check the regulations to make sure that you respect the regulations, because otherwise you'll have to throw out products and they're expensive.
Yeah.
If you can put stuff in your checked luggage that is not essential, do that. But keep in mind that it can freeze under the plane.
Well, so this is what actually my tip is.
Okay.
So be aware of what it is that you're bringing with you, because things like Prozaid, if you have the liquid Prozaid, the local shop that we buy our Prozaid from doesn't even carry liquid Prozaid during the winter months, because getting it shipped to them, it freezes on the way there and it ruins it. So you want to make sure that whatever you're flying with will not freeze or will not explode if it gets too cold. You want to make sure that the formulation of whatever you're bringing with you isn't going to be affected by the temperatures if it's in your checked luggage.
Yeah. And then everything else you should bring in your carry-on, and this is where the tip comes in. Get yourself a nifty, like this is the one we use. It's a makeup bag. Hold my mic here so I can talk. This is a makeup bag that we use because I can put all of my makeup in this, but it also has. Now you're gonna see our setup. You're gonna see the backside of drag.
You're gonna see yourself.
So there's a mirror that lights up, and you have all the compartments inside here.
You can't see.
Oh, sorry. There's all the compartments in here. This is for your brushes. It keeps your brushes nice and tidy. This is a new one because we got a second one because they're just useful. But yes, the reason I recommend this is because you will have a mirror that lights up. So no matter where you're getting ready, if it's a hotel room in a dark, dingy bar, wherever you are, you will have your own light source and your own mirror. So it guarantees that you can do your face anywhere. And this keeps all of your makeup in one place together. So everything's there. For example, for us, when we're flying out of Montreal, I am able to look at the security agents and tell them all my liquids are in here, and I never have to empty it in Montreal. Different cities, they ask us to, like when we're in London, we have to empty it anyways, but you have a chance, if all your liquids are in one thing, to tell them like, all my liquids are in here, is it okay if I leave it together? And sometimes they'll say yes. So that's just another little tip that not a lot of people know about. They start panicking and they're, oh no. Ask the agent, is it okay if my liquids are in here?
They will flag your makeup mirror.
Yes.
Because they're going to be like, what is that? Especially if your makeup mirror is not like one of these makeup cases and it's like a mirror stand. They're going to be like,
we have brought.
Mine is a particularly weird shape. So they're like, what is that? But they also do not forget, if you have tweezers, cosmetic scissors, nail clippers, or if you have cosmetic spatulas.
Oh, yeah.
In your makeup case, they will flag you. They will think it's a weapon. It will delay you. Take all of that stuff out of your carry-on.
Yeah, I use one of those metal makeup spatulas. I use those to remove my fake nails. And every time I go through the airport, it always gets flagged because they think it's a knife.
And then there's me. I have a one of those magic canes. It's this big, and then you push a button and it goes.
It's basically cardboard.
Yeah. No, it's metal.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's metal. It's
metal. So that's why it got flagged at the airport. But then they pulled it out of my bag, and I kind of had to tell them, like, no, don't push that. Because otherwise, this thing, it takes off like a rocket. It'll take your teeth out. So I had to stop the TSA agent from, like, inspecting it. I had to warn them what it was. And I was like, do not push that button. And they were like, so it's basically a weapon is what you're saying. And I was like, you can keep it. Have fun.
Yeah. So that should go in your checked luggage.
Yes, put that in your checked luggage.
And one last tip if you're traveling with drag, this is a trick that not guaranteed to work, so at your own risk. But some airlines will let you travel with a small pillow. You can put your pads in a pillowcase and use that as your pillow. Because pads take up a lot of space in your suitcase. Yeah. Especially if you're like me, you're a bigger girl that likes to have nice curves. My pads take up a lot of space. They can be smushed if I need to, but like they still take up space in a suitcase. So if you are able to bring a small pillow and the airline will let you, just put them in a pillowcase and use those as your pillow.
And then be prepared to be like some of the girls from Drag Race. If you got a giant sculpted wig, you might just have to wear it on the plane. So there we go, everyone. So we have worked some more. We've got a little bit of traveling in too, but we're always on, because we're divas, we're stars, we're celebrities. So there we go, everyone. That was another episode of the Dear God podcast.
It felt good to be back. I know we only missed 1 week, but like, I love doing this so much. This project has been a passion project of mine for years. I've been wanting to do it. So now that we're actually doing it, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for asking these wonderful questions, folks, because I want this podcast to always be something that talks to real people in a real way, that we give real advice, have real conversations. And that's what I find is interesting about it, is that we actually get to interact with all of you. So if you have any questions you would like to ask, get some advice from your drag aunties, head on over to our website, houseofgod.com. And if you scroll down, there's the podcast, and then there's a section to put anonymous questions. That way you can be as free as you are and not feel judged.
We also want to thank our sponsor for this podcast. We're not there today, so don't go looking for this room. This is our room. This is my room.
This is our living room.
This is our living room. So don't look for this one. But if you want to see the fabulous spaces at Le Saint Motel, which is a beautiful selfie and photography studio in Montreal, you can check them out. Le Saint Motel, the Saint Motel here in Montreal. Give them a shout out. Let them know that Uma and Selma sent you. It won't change anything, but it makes us look good. So there you go.
And tune in next Sunday for the next episode, which is going to have more fabulous questions from you, the audience.
Thank you, everyone. We love you.
God bless.